Hey guys, welcome back to Filter Coffee Football. Here to talk about Arsenal now. Arsenal versus Southampton, 3-0. Fabulous result, amazing performance, a clean sheet, 3 goals, 3 points. Let's dive right in. First off, right before we kick off, we have been guilty of this before. We are both Arsenal fans, so we do talk about Arsenal a lot. So we actually want to start this conversation off by first talking about Southampton and their many problems. The 3-0 result sees them conceding 12 goals in the past 5 matches, more than 2 goals a game. So clearly a lot of defensive issues. So Karthik, why don't you start off with what's going wrong with that defense?
Even before what's going wrong, they don't have a goalkeeper. They signed a 40-year-old Willie Caballero on an emergency transfer about 3 or 4 days ago before the Arsenal match. So, I don't really expect their goalkeeper to contribute, but the defense isn't helping either. The defense seems way too porous, and maybe it's also that the midfield is not helping out. I think I think Southampton may have to work with the defense first approach wherein they try to contain the amount of goals they concede because they are not that outright attacking team that can score way too many goals. They have to work hard and be very laborious to generate chances. So might as well work hard to sit behind a little bit.
Well, I think yeah, that's it's kind of the opposite of how Hasenhüttl plays his football. He likes
True,
to play
true.
more of that front foot, that German attacking style football where he defends from the front line. And I wouldn't say their attack is bad. Probably not as good as people expected. I really like Adam Armstrong. Jay Adams, I think, is a fabulous player, and obviously Livramento has shown great promise. Despite being a right back, as a very good, solid attacking option. And then obviously you have a lot of set piece threat coming in from James Ward-Prowse in there as well. But I think the midfield doesn't have enough balance in there to be able to help out the attack when they're trying to press. And I don't think, at least I don't feel they have any out and out great defensive midfielders as well to help that defense coming back. And he seems a lot like Bielsa in that he's kind of married to how he likes to play his football. But so far this season, with all the defensive issues, with the keeper issues that they've not looked great. Currently sitting 16th in the league, so again, not quite great there either. Do you see them? Where do you see them ending? Do you feel like they're going to get relegated this season?
Very, very much a possibility, but there's like two teams that have already anchored themselves into relegation. That's Norwich and Newcastle. So the third spot seems to be up for grabs, and you have Burnley, you have Watford, you have Southampton just barely breathing. So it could be a case of hit and miss. Very well, a possibility that Southampton find themselves right at the end. I don't know how other fixtures might help them, but they need to help themselves. I
Yeah.
also think I
Sorry.
also think that their formation isn't helping. A 4-4-2, although it's conventional and more traditional to England, but I think they need a 4-2-3-1 kind of formation wherein they get some more defensive stability. The 4-4-2 seems to just split them open because it's not two banks of four that's defending.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's really. I still feel they might just skirt relegation just because of how bad the teams below them are. I mean, Burnley, just way too many draws and not enough wins in there for them, and the squad is super thin as it is. So I definitely see Burnley being dragged into that relegation fight. Watford, despite having gotten themselves up quite a bit, are still not that great of a team. They have the potential to get some surprise results, but overall, they're just as likely to go down. And Newcastle, everybody thought they're going to get a bounce. Nothing so far. And Norwich, Norwich just need a string of good results. It might already be too late in the season for them, that even if they turn their fortunes around in terms of on-pitch results, the damage is probably already done for them. But yeah, moving on to the meat of the matter, Arsenal. Incredible performance without the captain, without the talisman of the team. Aubameyang not even in the matchday squad due to some disciplinary issues. Apparently, he came home from a trip to his family late, wasn't able to abide by COVID protocols, which is why he had to miss training. Which is why Arteta punished him by taking him off the team sheet for match day. Bold decision. I know you're a big fan of this call.
So, I mean, it's well and good by the manager to stamp authority. I think it makes a lot of sense where when your manager has been on about, okay, we have some non-negotiables, okay, we are going to stick to certain principles. I guess you have to back him, even if results aren't going the way they should be always. You have to back some of these decisions wherein he's staying true to his word, right? It's not that, okay, it's a star player, he's my captain, he's probably the highest earner at the club, so I should bend the rules, right? But that doesn't really help set an example. The team can only move forward with certain examples sometimes. And you have academy products, you have under 18s, you have your A team, B team. Everyone looks up to the manager in some way or the other. And these decisions actually put a greater emphasis on the manager as well as on the squad to like hold each of themselves accountable and make sure that they don't fall under the pretense of, oh, I could probably do something and get away with it. No, that's not how it works.
And it always looks better in the end when you come across with a comprehensive win on the back of that result. Like at this point, Aubameyang, and this is not the first time this happened. The same thing happened last season as well. Similar issue, and
What
Aubameyang was
on the
dropped.
derby? On
Yeah,
the
exactly.
derby.
So again, had another big decision, and again it seems to have worked out in Arteta's favor. And again, it kind of again just further paints Aubameyang in a bad light, and makes that decision to extend his contract look worse in hindsight again. Because the attack was just absolutely on song today. Every single individual in that attacking four contributed. Martinelli with a goal and an assist, Saka with an assist, Lacazette scored a goal, Odegaard with an amazing goal himself. The midfield actually looked, I mean, I thought Xhaka had an incredible game, which is good to see him kind of coming up and performing. That's what we need. And we did speak that Southampton have their own midfield struggle, so it did help us a little bit that our midfield could get a little bit more hold in that game because of it. Another clean sheet, another incredible defensive performance as well. Um, Lots of lots of difficult decisions. Like even if you just take Aubameyang completely out of the picture for the West Ham United game, still tough decisions to be made because with assuming Emil Smith Rowe is fit, who does Arteta go with in that starting lineup? Because if anything, this match showed that we do have a lot of that depth going in, and it's gonna be a head scratcher to pick the right team. Who's your pick to kickstart?
Uh, I, Personally, I would want Martinelli to start center, Odegaard right behind him, to the left Emil Smith Rowe, and to the right Bukayo Saka. But maybe Arteta might just replace Odegaard with Emil Smith Rowe, and that's how it might work out. Uh, Also, the goal was scored by Gabriel, not
Sorry,
Martinelli.
sorry. But it
That
was
happened. Yeah,
Martinelli's cross
it's
that
yeah,
Gabriel
it's
headed
yeah,
in.
it's still a Gabriel. Yeah.
Uh,
Yes. I think Arteta could go a little conservative with that, depending on how West Ham's also set up. But uh, I think we have to be the dominant force playing at home. We shouldn't really be letting them dictate play.
yeah, this match will definitely hinge on that midfield because West Ham, despite a fairly poor draw against Burnley, still incredible. Declan Rice is in the form of his life at the moment. I mean, he's playing some insane football. So keeping him contained is going to be a hugely important task for our midfield. And I think it will demand a lot of our attacking players to drop deeper and kind of contribute a lot defensively as well. Um, Tomiyasu is going to have a hard time on his hands, contending with the likes of Ben Rama for now, going through that left hand side. Jared Bowen on the left, that's going to be a tough one as well. Does he pick Tierney? Does he pick Tavares? It's going to be really tricky. And then of course Antonio, with his pace and his very unorthodox style of play, this is going to be a really tough, tricky fixture.
I think it's going to be Gabriel versus Antonio. It's going to
Yeah,
be Gabriel on
probably.
Antonio.
Yeah,
I'm not
probably.
thinking Ben White. Ben White will probably be progressing the ball more.
Yeah, that makes sense. And but it is going to be lots of individual battles in this game. But the most important for me, I feel, is that midfield. And I'm glad that Xhaka is back. And if he plays like he did against Southampton, I'm really hopeful because, like you, I'm not super optimistic on how much Partey can contribute in this game. What I might like to see is if we are in a position, if we are in an advantageous position in like the 70th minute of the match, I would actually honestly like to see him shore up the midfield a little bit more. Maybe sacrifice one of the attacking quartet and get in like an Ainsley Maitland-Niles or a Lokonga into a midfield three instead of keeping a midfield two, just to give us a little bit more of that cushion in the midfield. But yeah, in the attack, I would probably drop Odegaard just because I feel he gives a little less defensively compared to the other players that we have to pick from, and definitely still start Lacazette over Aubameyang. He brings a little bit more of that physicality that you need against a team like West Ham United. So tough matchup ahead, tough fixture, home advantage. So hopefully we make the most of that. What are your predictions?
Let's go with a win. I want to go with a win. I will go with a win rather. Uh, Dicey, difficult, difficult win under the circumstances. But West Ham's form has been patchy. Not to say that ours has been great either, but
Mm-hmm.
I think we edged them 2-1 or a 3-1 maybe.
3-1. I like the sound of that. Yeah, I think.
Yep.
Well, I have a feeling this one has a draw written on it, but I hope we get like a 2-1 win in this one. Uh, Unfortunately, I don't see us keeping a clean sheet against this attack, but I do hope that we can outscore them. But yeah, that was our take for the Arsenal Southampton, and mostly also a look forward to the Arsenal West Ham game. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and like always, like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for following us, and have a great day. See you next time. Bye.
See ya.